the role young people can have in creating a more peaceful world. And so we do that through workshops and through action peace projects where young people come to understand the drivers of peace and conflict. They get to imagine innovative solutions that help them create change, and they get to take action to make a difference. At New Gen Peace Builders, we always say our mission and our vision is we want to make learning to be a peace builder a rite of passage for everyone.
And so we started looking at how have previous generations of immigrants succeeded in this country, because lots of people have come here and not picked up the language right away. Lots of people have come here and not thrived.
My name is Derek Gates,
right away.
Executive Director,
start?
First Touch Youth Development
For a
Program.
lot of them, entrepreneurship was the key. They came and they started businesses.
What we do is we try to attract youth that don't have access to, sports, what I consider non-traditional sports. Soccer and lacrosse are two main sports that we try to attract kids. But the biggest piece is to get those kids focused on being good citizens academically as well as socially, because some of them come from different backgrounds that are challenging. A lot of people want to label these kids at risk. I would like to say they're at opportunity, because now we can give them an opportunity. But the goal is to get a diverse group of kids so they can learn from each other. Right now we've probably have served a little over 200 kids, but our goal is we want to get back to having teams to be able to expose more kids.
I'm Michelle Dudley, and I'm the founder and executive director of Fashion and Compassion. So Fashion and Compassion is a nonprofit that works with women overcoming poverty and injustice. And we work here in Charlotte and run a jewelry project. We really try to make jewelry that's really beautiful, that people are going to want to buy and want to wear and be proud to wear, that they know that it's by their purchase, they're actually really making a difference in the life of someone overcoming a really difficult situation. So locally here in Charlotte, we work with women that are overcoming trafficking, addiction, incarceration, domestic abuse, refugees and immigrants. And we provide transitional employment while they're really kind of getting their feet back on the ground. We're transitional part-time employment, so we're really not an employment destination. We're not their goal, but we're helping them as they transition to a better life for themselves and their families. One of the things that we do that's kind of different is we are a nonprofit, so we sell the jewelry that we make and we donate the net proceeds back into other local partnerships. So the cool thing is that the women know that they're earning money for themselves by making the jewelry, but that they're also helping give back to the other organizations in the community that are also helping them.
I am Violeta Moser. I'm Executive Director of the Latin American Women's Association, LAWA. We are a 23-year-old organization that was created by women like me, a mother who was concerned about how they were going to pay to send their kids to college. So one day they sat together and they decided to do a dance. So with that event, they raised enough money to pay for 2 students to go to college that year. After that, for about 16 years, the Latin American Women's Organization, did an event every year, a gala, where they raised money for scholarships. We do individual and small group tutoring to about 125 students in schools with high Latino demographics. Many of the immigrant families that we help are challenged by not knowing how to help their own children, not knowing how to sometimes help themselves. So that's a motivation for me, is just to provide opportunities for them to learn, for families to feel part of the family here.
Good evening and welcome to Seed20 2016. I'm Jennifer Martin, this year's lead partner. This is our 5th year and I'm thrilled to say that you are part of our largest audience yet. And we thank you because just by buying your ticket and coming out on a Monday night and waiting in a long will call line, you're supporting Seed20 and our dynamic innovators. And a special hello to our online audience since we are live streaming this event. Speaking of technology, I'd like to ask everyone in attendance to please silence your cell phones. To kick things off, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Without them, we would not be here. I'd like to start with Wells Fargo, who is our presenting sponsor and an invaluable partner, who has supported us from the very beginning. Other organizations who have been with us for multiple years include Riem Prize Fund, UNC Charlotte, Beacon Partners, Duke Energy, McGuire Woods, Pamlico Capital, Priceless Miss, Robinson Center for Civic Leadership at the Foundation for the Carolinas, Crescent Communities, and Novant Health Foundation. In addition, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our new sponsors, Global Endowment Management, Ally, Morin Van Allen, and DealCloud. We also appreciate our numerous cultivators who are listed in your program. And it is only possible to be in this beautiful venue thanks to our in-kind sponsors, the Beckler Museum of Modern Art and Blumenthal Performing Arts Night Theater. So, what is Seed20? SEED stands for Social Entrepreneurs Empowered, and this program is an initiative of social venture partners. We select 20 organizations from a pool of applicants. We spend 2 months working with the leaders of these organizations, coaching them on how to tell their stories in a concise and compelling manner. Then we have the very difficult task of selecting 10 organizations to be on stage to share their stories with you here tonight. I want to emphasize how very difficult it was to select just 10 finalists. You might have met the semifinalists on your way in or viewed their videos here or online. They are seated over here, and I'd like them to stand to be recognized. Thank you. Please take the time to read about them in the program and engage with them tonight. They are doing fantastic work. In fact, the entire class of 2016, the semifinalists, the finalists, will be at cocktail tables throughout the Night Theater and Beckler lobbies, and all 20 of these leaders are really worth your time getting to know. These nonprofit leaders are determined to make a difference, and I believe we all benefit from their passion and desire to make things better in our community. They are inspiring individuals. They believe in the power of one person to make a difference. These are visionaries who see both problems and what it might take to solve those problems. I admire their courage, tenacity, and drive to make our city better. Tonight, you will hear 10 of their stories. They will have 3 minutes each, no notes, no props, no visuals. To reach this point, to get up here and do this, takes a lot of preparation. I'd like to acknowledge the community of coaches, the Davidson student ambassadors, and SVP partners who embarked on this journey with our nonprofit participants and who have given advice, tips, guidance, and support along the way. You will soon see what a valuable gift our volunteers have given by the caliber of presentations on stage tonight. Our volunteers have been truly outstanding. I'd like to briefly introduce Social Venture Partners, who brings you this event. We are a local group of 140 people who pool our financial and human resources to help nonprofit organizations achieve their goals. The Charlotte affiliate is one of 38 groups in major cities around the world. In our day-to-day work, SVP invests time and talent very deeply in promising nonprofits. So why does SVP have the Seed20 program? Through our work, we see a rich landscape of nonprofits here in Charlotte who have potential for success. We bring you this program because as long as there are people who are willing to stand up and address the challenges in our community, we want to put them on stage and shine a spotlight on them. We want to lift them up so they can receive not just our support, but yours, so that both our nonprofit participants and you, the members of our audience, will leave here feeling enriched, inspired, and ready to go out and make a difference. We believe in creating opportunities for people and their ideas. We believe that when we come together, there is no problem too big for us to solve. It's true. And now I'd like to introduce Susan Daniel, the Executive Director of Social Venture Partners. I would like to thank her for her unwavering leadership, and her personal mentorship means the world to me. She will tell you more about what to expect tonight.
Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be with you tonight as we lift up and celebrate the creative energy, the innovation, and the commitment of the nonprofit entrepreneurs in our community. It is amazing. Thank you all for being here, and a special thanks to Jennifer Martin, the Seed20 lead partner. She has done a remarkable job in bringing this program to fruition. She really has. I'd like to spend the next few minutes going over the scoring and voting process. The 10 finalists presenting tonight are competing for 5 awards totaling $55,000. The first award is given by Priceless Miss. They're a sponsor of C20, and they're given an in-kind award of $10,000 for digital design and production work to one of the 20 nonprofits. The second prize is the Coaches Award. It is voted on by the 40 volunteer coaches from our community and the 20 student ambassadors, also coaches from Davidson College. Each nonprofit was paired with two coaches and 1 student ambassador, and they have spent a lot of quality time together over the last 2 months, not only as individual teams, but as an entire group. So this is really a special award, and it is for $5,000. Again this year, this prize is open to all 20 participants. The next awards, our second place prize of $12,500 and the third place prize of $7,500 will be decided by our panel of judges. And finally, the first place award will be decided by you, the audience. It is the People's Choice Grand Prize, and it is for $20,000. After all the presentations, you will have an opportunity to text your favorite, basing your vote on innovation, potential for impact, and the presentation itself. There is a sample scorecard on the back of your program for you to make notes along the way if you wish to do so. Now I would like to introduce tonight's judges. Welcome them onto the stage. The judges have been given no information ahead of time, and they are here in the presentations tonight for the first time. Thank you all very much for being with us. Our first judge is Manny Home, founder and president of Samaritan's Feet International. Next is Katie Levins, creative director and senior writer at Charlotte Agenda. Beside Katie is Charlie Elberson, trustee for Riem Prize Fund. Then we have Rod Banks, a vice president and senior community development officer for the Carolinas West region for Wells Fargo. And our final judge is Joanne Stratton-Tate, head of school at the Charlotte Bilingual Preschool and last year's Seed20's People's Choice winner. I have a feeling Joanne rather be on this side of the program than on the other side. These are really impressive individuals, and I hope you will read their complete bios in your program. Thank you all for being with us. Now let's turn to why we are all here. Each nonprofit representative is about to make their 3-minute pitch, sharing their ideas and their work, and why it all matters, followed by observations by the judges. There will be no questions and no dialogue. I will now turn it over to our nonprofits.
In 2011, I sat before my principal as she commended my efforts as a Teach for America Corps member. You see, like so many of my colleagues, I spent my evenings and weekends lesson planning and most of my discretionary dollars on classroom essentials. The one thing noted on my evaluation that I will never forget is that I did not adequately integrate technology into the learning environment. That technology, an overhead projector with a light bulb, the same thing my teacher used when I was in 4th grade. You see, the disparities are real, and the statistics, they're frightening. By 2020, it's believed that there are going to be 1 million unfilled jobs in this country in the field of computer science. Yet only 1 in 10 kids are currently enrolled in computer science coursework during the academic day. In Charlotte alone, there's believed to be 70,000 kids who go home each and every night to a disconnected household. My name is David Jessup, and I am the founder of DigiBridge, an organization that aspires to create a generation of well-equipped 21st century learners. In 2015, we served 208 students through our STEAM Saturdays platform. For those of you non-educators, STEAM refers to science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. In 2016, we're on track to serve 500 students. But Charlotte, we can do better, and we must do better, because far too many of our students are falling on the wrong side of the digital divide. Now, it's probably unrealistic for us to think that we can provide every single student with the latest and greatest technology tools. But that doesn't mean we can't innovatively approach a solution. That solution is the Digibus. The Digibus will be Charlotte's very first digital learning lab on wheels, providing students from throughout Charlotte with opportunities to explore science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics under the direction of a certified educator. Just think, a field trip on wheels that provides kids with opportunities to code, opportunities to explore 3D printing, and high-speed internet access. Tonight, we are ready to get in the driver's seat. We are ready to take the Digibus on the road. But we need fuel. We need fuel in the form of dollars. So, who's ready to join us aboard the Digibus? Thank you.
How you doing, David?
Good. How are you, Charlie?
I'm doing great, thank you.
A little nervous.
A little nervous?
Yeah.
Well, that's all over now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thanks for kicking it off with such an awesome idea. I mean, it's such a huge, huge problem. It's so important. And you're bringing it out here to all these people, and they know exactly what you're trying to do. So just thanks for starting us off and starting us off so well. Appreciate that. What else?
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I think what you do so well is shed light on something that most people, probably most of us in this room, take for granted and don't even realize is an issue. So using really firm numbers like 70,000 kids in Charlotte will go home without internet
70,000
is something, is something that I don't think people who have the connectivity think about. So thank you for shining a light on that.
Thanks.
Thank
you
you,
all.
David.
Slavery is alive in the United States. Last year alone, it was estimated that 800,000 lives became enslaved by human trafficking. Let's put a face to that. That would be equivalent to each and every person in this room, each loved one that you left behind at home, and the rest of the entire population of Charlotte. Think about that. My name is Lainey, and I'm the founder of Redeeming Joy, and I once believed that I was worthless, not wanted, and unlovable. See, from the age of 3 until 17, I was sexually enslaved by human trafficking, right alongside my very own mom. At the age of 17, I exited this life, but I was far from free. It took years of counseling and a safe community before I found my freedom and my joy. I can stand before you today and tell you that I am free. I know that I am valued accepted and dearly loved. The vision for Redeeming Joy came about when I was able to rescue my mom, who at the age of 47 was still enslaved in human trafficking. I got to walk alongside her journey of healing, but sadly, she died before knowing her value or what it was like to be loved for who she was. Redeeming Joy is a transformational program that offers sustainable freedoms for women like my mom over the age of 18 that have survived human trafficking. We do this in two ways. We offer holistic, trauma-informed services, and we do it in a safe family environment. So when the FBI or a local agency refers a lady into Redeeming Joy, we loan them our hope until they have a hope of their own. We equip them and we empower them with services such as legal, medical, and counseling. And then our community is a means of healing when people like yourself volunteer with Redeeming Joy, offer scholarships for further education, or give much needed job employment opportunities. What our ladies need is a safe place to heal, a place where they can focus on their healing and not have to worry about how many men they must be with to provide for their food, their shelter, or even their children. When we receive the Seed20 money, we intend on securing a safe house that we can house 6 to 8 ladies and a staffed family. In the past, we could only house 2. We will offer our services to many in our community. See, it took a community to keep our ladies enslaved, but it will also take a community to see them set free. When you invest in Redeeming Joy, you are breaking the chains of slavery for generations to come. You are valued, accepted, and dearly loved. Will you join Redeeming Joy and help us set lives free?
You just, man, you just touched my heart. It's pretty special stuff. You know, it's amazing how you captivated my attention. And when you told me that 800,000 people are still enslaved in this day and age. And God bless you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lainey. Thank you, one, for having the courage to share your story, and you made it so real for everyone here. And just like Manny said, you touched all of us sharing your story, and we're just want to thank you for the impact you're already having and hope to have in the future. But thank you.
Stay here. Lainey, I had a physical reaction to your story. Like, my heart is beating fast. It makes me feel weak to hear what you said. So thank you for standing in your power and putting a face on something that was such a horrifying experience that causes a physical reaction and weakness for so many of us. Thank you for standing in your power and doing something about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lainey. Thank you.
I'm an addict. You can call me a junkie, and you have my drug. I crave your stash. What am I addicted to? I'm a thrift store junkie, and I have been since I was a kid. My name is Michelle Estrada Abels, and I'm the president of the Key Resale Shop. This junkie is taking her addiction to thrifting and making cash out of your unwanted stash for Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. In recent years, our public education has been impacted by budget cuts. Teachers are being told to do more with less. To help, parents are raising funds to pay for technology supplies and teacher training. Last year, 24 local schools raised over $100,000 each. But sadly, not all schools fundraised the same because there were 24 other schools that didn't raise a dime. Why such disparities between the two? Well, let me tell you about my mother, Maria. She's a first-generation mom from Panama. In her country, she was a home economics teacher. Here in the States, she had to settle for service jobs because English was a second language. Her hours were long and her schedules irregular. At one point, she had to work 3 jobs just to support us. Sadly, there are many other Marias throughout Mecklenburg that simply don't have the time or the money to give to fundraising, so the divide continues. But the Key Resale Shop is changing that. We are bridging the gap by transforming donations into dollars for all 149,000 children in CMS. We're following an existing model that's been around since 1952. The PTA Thrift Shop is a $1.6 million a year nonprofit that has been so successful, other cities in the nation are duplicating it. Currently, the Key Resale Shop operates out of a 300 square foot room, and we need space. We have received so many donations that our room looks like an episode from the TV show Hoarders. We've been selling our best items via Facebook sales sites and having good old-fashioned yard sales. But the time has come for us to take our next step. We need your seed money to help fund a brick-and-mortar thrift store located on Monroe Road. Our thrift store is a proven and self-sustaining model that requires a one-time ask of $20,000. This thrift store, our thrift store, is a proven and self-sustaining model that requires this one-time ask. As George Washington Carver once said, education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Provide us the building, we've got the key.
Gracias, Michelle. I like your key that you're wearing even.
Thank you.
I really like how you bring out, with a sense of humor, a very serious problem, the disparities across the schools, and what are we going to do? I'm glad you're not waiting for that to be solved by somebody else. Thank you for your help. And I will try not to empty my garage into your shop until you get the shop.
We might need your garage.
Great job, Michelle. Oh, sorry, Charlie. Great job, Michelle. Thank you for shining a light on the disparity of the schools, of many of our schools here in Charlotte, and the 149,000 kids who don't have the opportunities that some of our kids have. So thank you for doing a great job in this, shining a light on that disparity.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your courage.
In 1995, I received a diploma in auto body repair. Within 2 years, I was able to open up 2 shops, one here in Charlotte, one in Winston-Salem. Had a niece, Sam, real dear to me, Christian girl. She was my secretary, my bookkeeper, and she also noticed that I had a lot of young men at the shop watching me work. Sam used to tell me, Dave, I hope you're doing something positive with these young men because they look at you as a father, and some of them even call you dad. Little less she know, I had them selling drugs. Well, Sam died. And me, and most of the young men, ended up in prison for drug trafficking. While sitting in prison, I could hear Sam talking to me, reminding me how I messed up, what was I gonna do to fix it. So I came up with an idea to do a program serving the at-risk, mentoring them and teaching them the auto body trade. By the way, my name is David Moore, and I'm the founder of Southside Rise Foundation. I got out of prison in 2004 and went straight into doing this work. First group of kids, 6 at-risk youth from social services. 2 of them, Brandon and Romy, have their own shops today, 13 years later. We've been serving 120 young men for the last 13 years. 32 of them have their own shops today. 200 of them have gotten jobs in the community at local body shops. 200 of them have followed their education by getting associate's degree in the auto body repair. And we have other partners, just to name a few, the police department with gang prevention, school system with alternative education. And my favorite, I have a class now in the prison, one of the prisons I was at, giving them all bookwork stuff, intro to auto body, life skills, job readiness, anger management, business planning, safety in the facility, identifying all auto body tools and equipment. We need your seed money. We need 60 grand. We need 20 grand for a building to pay the rent up for a year. We need 20 grand for tools and equipment. We need 10 grand for stipends. We pay them stipends because the guys come in the class, prison class, they take that class, get out of prison, come to my shop, they work with me, I pay them stipends and it helps. But we need that money for us to do this more in Charlotte. Thank you. Sam, are you proud of me now, baby?
Well, David, it's great to just to hear your passion. To remind all of us, it doesn't matter how we begin, it's how we finish that really matters. Thank you for that. You know, I love the way that you shared that some of your students already, you said 32 of them already started their own shops?
Yeah, 32 of them.
Man, I tell you what, we need more of this. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
I want to see it. I mean, you made me see it. I want to see it for real. I want to see them. I want to see that sense of triumph. I want to see the sense of victory in their eyes. But it's just, I mean, it's just awesome that what you're doing. Thanks for telling us about it. It was just great. Thank you very much. Katie?
David, what a tremendous story of redemption, not just for you, but the fact that rather than just bring yourself back up, you brought people with you. I think that's really impressive. I also wanted to point out how much I appreciate your transparency and frankness on how much money you need. I think that's a very smart, from the business side of a nonprofit, is very refreshing to see you say, you know, that's going to take a lot to go a long way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ever deal with government and think, wow, this process sucks? Us too. So we thought we'd do something about it. Code for Charlotte. Much like your volunteer fire brigade, we are your volunteer software development brigade, working to make local government more user-friendly. Hi, I'm Jill Bierce. I'm a government nerd and extreme cat herder. I serve as the executive director of Code for Charlotte. We're a civic organization bridging the gap between residents and our local government. Basically, we use technology to make government more user-friendly. Now, if you'll stay with me for a second, I'm going to go totally radical on you. I believe our government has the capacity to be amazing. Everybody always laughs at that. It's true. Luckily for me, I am not the only one. By combining the talents of our 675 volunteers, we are actively working on projects brought to us by both the community and the government. Speaking of projects, I would love to stand up here and tell you about a dozen projects we're working on, but they only gave me 3 minutes. So I'm going to tell you about one of my favorites. It's called CityGram. It's like receiving a telegram for your city, only better, because you get to pick the subject, the mode of delivery, and the relevant geographic area. Now, to really emphasize that, we're going to show you it in action. I need you to stretch your imaginations with me for a minute and pretend that you get up each day and commute to work. Now, you're a CityGram subscriber, so you get a notification of a road closure before you get stuck in traffic and miss morning donut selection. So, thanks to Code for Charlotte, you're at work on time with your favorite donut, ready to tackle the day. Now, we know this is a universal need because we have CityGram in 11 cities and more waiting. With the Seed20 prize money, we will be able to invest in CityGram, adding servers and expanding the types of notifications we can send. We will also be able to lay the groundwork to bring the civic technology industry to Charlotte, not only creating sustainability for us, but economic growth for all of Charlotte. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing. How can I help? Well, you might be surprised to hear that neither software nor government are created in a bubble. Therefore, we need civic-minded individuals, yes, I'm talking about you, to join us and add your bucket to our brigade. So the next time you're dealing with government, you can, instead of saying, man, this sucks, you can say, wow, this rocks. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. You did a great job.
Thanks.
And as someone who worked in local government and someone who who commutes to work here in Charlotte, wow, everything you said does rock. But so we're excited to hear about everything else that you're working on. But great job, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Shane Winmeyer, and I'm the Executive Director and the founder of Campus Pride. Our national organization is the only one of its kind that is based here in the South, working with lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender young people. And we are proud to call Charlotte our home. We work with several of the area colleges, as well as over 1,400 college campuses across the country. Our mission is quite clear: build future leaders and create safer, more inclusive campus communities. Now, two of our signature programs actually happen right here in Charlotte every year. One of them is our Camp Pride program, which is a social justice and leadership camp, and the other is a college fair that helps LGBT young people find their way into college, along with their parents. Now, before I go much further, I have a simple question for all of you here. How many of you know someone who is lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, LGBT? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. You've just taken the most important step in coming out as an ally and being there for someone when they need it the most. That's exactly what Campus Pride does. It creates a safe space, a space for young people to be all of who they are, and for allies like yourself to come out and be there to support them. Now, I came out to my mom and dad on Christmas Day, right? That's when gay people do it. Major holiday, so we can ruin it for the entire family. Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. Pass the turkey, Mom, I'm gay. But in all seriousness, LGBT young people have a hard time still coming out to their families and their loved ones. Research shows that LGBT youth are 3 to 4 times more likely to commit suicide, suffer from depression, as well as other negative health harms. Especially our young transgender youth or youth of color who are LGBT, they are also victims of homelessness. We have lost 3 young trans lives in less than 2 years right here in Charlotte. Now, to get a glimpse of the impact of our work with Campus Pride, we had a young person come to our camp program named Carl. Carl came from a conservative religious campus. Now, on the last day of camp, all the students have to stand up and share their action plan about what they're going to do to create change. And I recall Carl standing up, and he had a lot of tears in his eyes, and he shared about how alone and isolated he felt on his campus, how he had thought about suicide and depression. He talked about how his student group wasn't even allowed to meet on their campus, nor were they officially recognized. But then Carl got a big smile on his face. He said, "This camp, Campus Pride, changed all that for me, and I want to make a difference." Carl went back to his campus that year, and he was able to get his student organization recognized. He mobilized his students, he talked to his administration. That's the work that Campus Pride does in supporting young people like Carl. Seed20 financial support will allow us to help more young people just like Carl. We can send 10 young people here from Charlotte to our local Camp Pride program. We can also kick off our college fair here in Charlotte this August. Now, I've dedicated my entire personal and professional life to helping young people who are lesbian, gay, bi, and trans. I've built Campus Pride because I have the passion and the idea that we have to do better. Now, each one of you, I hope you'll give your time, I hope you'll give lots of money, but most importantly, I want you to be an advocate. I want you to be an ally. Now in the state of North Carolina, in Charlotte, more than ever, we need to send a signal, a message, that LGBT youth are important, that they're welcome. It doesn't just get better. We have to do better. Young people need to stop taking their lives and instead start living their lives. Believe in Campus Pride. Thank you.
Shane, thank you for putting a face on a very important issue. We tend to bat this issue around politically, but it's human beings, young people that are in trouble, and we thank you for saving them. Appreciate you.
Shane, great job. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for explaining it in a way that everyone can participate, everyone can be an advocate, so everyone can take the step to help with the issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a great story. And you made them laugh. That was Shane, thank you so much for your honesty and for sharing with everyone. The word inclusiveness is coming into real meaning now. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
I'd like to tell you about my 11-year-old friend, Katie. She likes riding bikes with her 2 older sisters and her little brother, and of course, hanging out with her friends. Katie loves a good slumber party. Her favorite class in school is art class because she really likes to paint and draw. And in the summer between 6th and 7th grade, Katie was diagnosed with bone cancer. So her bike rides are now MRIs, her play dates have turned into doctor's appointments, and the slumber parties she loves so much, well, those have become week-long hospital stays. And so Katie's really struggling, not just because she's fighting for her life, but she's missing a lot of school, she's isolated from her friends, and every time she puts on that hospital gown, she loses a little bit more of who she is as a person. I'm Rachel Zink, Executive Director of Arts for Life, and we believe that art has the power to help kids heal. So while children are receiving world-class medical care at Levine Children's Hospital to heal their bodies, Arts for Life is there to nurture their minds and spirits through our educational art lessons. We help kids in the hospital, like my friend Katie, remember that they're not just patients. They're artists, musicians, poets, and most of all, they're still kids. Now, doctors, nurses, and parents tell us that when children are learning and creating with Arts for Life, they just feel better. And one of our pediatric oncologists says that attitude is so important for these kids facing cancer and chronic illness, and I know they do better with treatment because of Arts for Life. So imagine children and teens sitting side by side at an art table in the hospital, laughing, learning, and exploring their creativity together, snipping paper for a collage, building sculptures out of modeling clay, and swirling paint together to create their next masterpiece. Katie's IV pole becomes a place for her to proudly hang a 3D mobile. And picture this, her hospital room walls become an impromptu art gallery. For Katie and so many kids like her, Arts for Life is a bright splash of color in a dark place. It's a blank page with a brand new box of crayons. And it's joy and laughter when the unthinkable happens to you and your family. Now, while Arts for Life helps over 1,000 kids and family members in the Charlotte community each year, over 12,000 children were admitted to the hospital for overnight stays last year alone. A prize from Seed20 would help us grow our teaching team to bring more art more often to more of those 12,000 children. And when you invest your dollars or volunteer your time to teach in the hospital with Arts for Life, you're putting the healing power of art into the hands, hearts, and minds of kids who need it the most. And until there's a world free from illness and disability. Together, we're helping kids like Katie imagine one.
Man, thank you so much, Rachel. Somebody once told me if you want to touch the future, touch young people. Thank you so much for painting the picture nicely. And also, I truly believe that art is one of those most powerful vehicles to help us escape in places that don't seem possible. Thanks for doing that and showing us why this is really needed in Charlotte.
I really appreciated the hard numbers that you gave, showing the opportunity, saying that you have worked with 1,000 kids, but 12,000 were admitted, and I think that just shows how much opportunity there is to continue the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Like a true artist, Katie, you really helped me see it and the power it could have in a child's room in the hospital. Thank you for the good work that you were doing. Good presentation.
Thank you, Rachel.
22 veteran lives are claimed every single day to post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, loss in war is inevitable, but what's startling is that while we lose on average 1 soldier a day to the war in Afghanistan, after our troops come home, we're losing 22 a day to suicide. Now, there's no simple quick fix to PTSD, but we most certainly have a means to the solution. And it's not a cocktail of mind-numbing drugs or a suicide hotline that leaves a voicemail unanswered until it's too late. The tool is man's best friend. My name is Sarah Enos. I come from a military family, and I'm the founder of the American Pit Bull Foundation. I'm here to share with you our groundbreaking new program, Operation Sidekick. Our mission with Operation Sidekick is to pummel that statistic of 22 suicides a day by training and providing our veterans with rescued service dogs. It's been proven that service dogs save lives. Now, our program is unique in that we're training rescued pit bulls for the job. Togo, Sally, Sergeant Stubby, they were all decorated war heroes, and they were all pit bulls. These dogs were heroes long before they were exploited for their loyalty and their strong work ethic. We're bringing back the war hero. We're channeling the strong suits of these dogs, and we're providing our veterans with living, breathing, life-saving medical devices. Veterans like Corey, a retired Marine who had a frightening episode during a simple shopping trip to Home Depot. For us, it would have been a normal Saturday outing, but for Corey, it literally turned into a terrifying experience when a terracotta pot shattered at his feet and triggered a flashback. Corey lost his grip with reality, and he fell to the floor. But he didn't spiral out of control, and instead of hurting himself or someone else, he had an intervention. Purposely positioned in his lap and licking his face was a service dog, who quickly brought Corey back just as he had been specially trained to do. Now, with the cost of breeding, staff, and health care, other organizations charge upwards of $30,000 each for service dogs. Operation Sidekick can do it at a fraction of that cost with rescued dogs and volunteers. But we can't do it all without you. There are 57,000 plus veterans living in the Charmeck area. 3,000 pit bulls are euthanized in shelters every day. Your donations, volunteer time, and funding from Seed20 can save the lives of both canines and humans. Now, when Corey came home from the war, he admittedly brought back with him a death wish. He traded in that death wish for a dog, and a dog who isn't just merely a companion, but who is expressly skilled. A hero for a hero. Our soldiers put their lives on the line for our freedom. Let's make sure they can savor that same freedom and live a better life when they come home. We have the tools. Help us put those tools to the best use. And tonight, join me and stand with the 22.
I just like that you use the word pummeled and Sergeant Stubby. I think that may be a first for Seed20, in fact. What a great story, what a great idea. And you know, it's so real. But yeah, dogs and vets, terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else? Go.
So Sarah, I am a very proud pit bull mom, so you are the right person. I love that you're taking two kind of misunderstood and dismissed populations, meaning pit bulls that are misunderstood and veterans with PTSD. I think that the problem they face is glossed over or not understood by a lot of the population, and the combination of those two together to hold each other up, I think, is fantastic. Thank you.
I just want to say, I just love your passion. Just keep doing it, and thank you for representing probably the most important segment of our society, people that serve that nation. Thank you for standing for them.
Thank you.
Charlotte, we've got a problem. There are thousands of first-generation, low-income students in our community who are bright, talented, and motivated, but cannot get to or through college. My name's Ian Joyce. I'm the executive director of Gen 1 Charlotte, and we give first-generation, low-income students a roadmap to and through college. Last year, one of my 7th graders shared her goal to be the first in her family to go to college and become an anesthesiologist. Low goal. She's the 99th percentile in reading and math, but to her and her family, the path to college was just a complete mystery. Even as a Teach for America Corps member with training, this came as a huge shock. But that's why Gen 1 is here, and we have 3 steps to support our students that you need to know. Step number 1, mentorship. Gen 1 pays teachers to mentor our students once a week, beginning in middle school. Jania is the perfect example of why this is needed. She faced insecurities at home and in her community. But after being a part of our mentorship program, she won a full-ride college scholarship to any in-state school. Oh, as a 7th grader. So while she had a pretty good mentor at CMS, that's only one step to the path to college. Step number 2 is college advising. Now I want you to think, did you apply to college? Was it easy? And did you go through this process completely alone? Too many of our students are going through this process completely alone. The CMS student-to-counselor ratio is 450 to 1. But our program makes this a 5-to-1 ratio. And our private college counselors give students a structured outline to tell them and guide them in what needs to get done and what's still to come. But getting these students to college is what most programs are about. Not enough are getting them through college, which is why our 3rd step is transitional support through college. After graduating high school, seniors must attend enrichment programs. Then in their first 2 years of college, it's mostly on them. They have to get involved in extracurricular activities to gain a sense of belonging, and they need to get extra academic tutoring and advising. Gen 1 is so unique because we identify college potential students so early and support them so strongly for 7 years. CMS is funding the first 5 students in our program at Eastway Middle School this year, and I'm psyched. I can't wait. But I'm also heartbroken because I have to say no to 45 students who are qualified to go to college, and they need to be there. And it's a crime if they fall through the cracks of our public school system and they fall through to poverty. But $3,000 gets 1 student through all 7 years. $20,000 gets 7 students through our program, and I'll let you do the math for the rest because I teach social studies. But if you've read any article in the Charlotte Observer, or you listen to NPR, my favorite radio station, shout out WFAE, you will know that Charlotte is 50th out of 50 for upward social mobility, and our students have the worst chances in the country to rise out of poverty. Your money ensures that students like Jania never become another cold statistic of poverty in our city again. Thank you.
Great job, Ian. Thank you so much for citing that statistic about Charlotte being 50th out of 50. I don't know that people know that we are so bad at that opportunity for moving upward. And I feel really strongly, and you do too, that education is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty. So the work that you do is so worthy. And I think you had a really impactful statement when you said you're heartbroken to turn away 45 people who are qualified to go on and do this work. So great job.
Thank you.
Ian, I appreciate so much that you stick with the kids in college. That is so key. It's one thing to get in. It's harder to stay.
Yeah.
So thanks for that long-term commitment. Good job.
Thank you.
Ian, 3 steps, first generation. It's just awesome. Thank you for your work, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is the common link between the scourge of sex trafficking, the plight of teenage addiction, and the inability to experience real love? The answer may make you squirm. Pornography. My name is Brian Goins. I'm with Catapult Concepts, and we're catapulting a new conversation about an age-old question. We're not asking, is porn right or wrong? We simply want every junior high and high school student in Charlotte, as well as around the country, asking the question, is porn worth it? And so we are producing the first adolescent-focused documentary on the scientific side effects of pornography to be shown in assemblies and sex ed classes. Research has shown it doesn't matter if it's comprehensive or abstinence-based sex ed, no one is talking to our kids about the side effects of pornography. And that's true right here in Charlotte. I was speaking to a group of 8th graders, and I asked them the question, why do you think that 90% of your friends will see online porn before they graduate from high school, and the average boy leaving high school today is watching 50 online clips a week? And a boy in the front row, let's just call him Jack, shouted out, because it's awesome! And why wouldn't it be awesome for Jack? Do you remember 8th grade? It wasn't pretty, was it? I had about as much chance with the ladies as I did the Playboy bunny. But the difference between now and 20 years ago is that Jack can access thousands of bunnies right from his back pocket. See, for Jack, or Jill for that matter, since 30% of porn users are now female, porn is accessible, it's affordable, and by and large seen as a victimless crime. But what Jack and Jill don't know about porn is that every time they click on that link, they're putting another young boy or girl in shackles. You see, the unspoken truth about human trafficking is that many of those kids that are taken are forced to produce films and photos to feed the high demand for pornography. But it's not just about the link between sex trafficking and pornography. Every time Jack and Jill surf through sexualized Snapchats, neurologists will show you how a brain on porn scans exactly like a brain on heroin and cocaine. But it's not even just about the possibility of addiction. Psychologists will tell you what's really at stake is love itself. They say even with casual use, Jack and Jill are training their brain to be satisfied by pixels rather than people. How many of you are parents out there? If you're a parent like me, I bet one of your greatest dreams and hopes for your kids is they might experience real love. But for most of these kids, the ideas of love and intimacy are being shaped by pornography long before their first kiss. But tonight you have the power to catapult a new conversation. I have school administrators here in Charlotte asking me, Brian, when's that porn film going to be ready? Well, we're not calling it that. But with $20,000 and your connections to teachers, PTA groups, and anybody who works with our kids, we can finish the final edits on our film and launch a public health marketing campaign on the side effects of pornography right here in Charlotte. When you vote for Catapult Concepts, you'll open our kids' eyes to the truth about porn so they can decide for themselves, is it really worth fueling more sex trafficking or flirting with addiction or missing out on real love? Is porn worth the click? Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. As a parent, it was educating and scary. But thank you for shining a light on an issue that we don't talk about and that's not common for us to be aware of. So thank you.
What a great tool you are putting in the hands of teachers and parents and others. I hope you can make that porn film, and I've never said that to anyone ever.
We're going to make it for you.
Thank you for making the connection between sex trafficking and porn. I think that's a line and not a lot of people draw. And so you're in front of all these people, so thanks for that.
Well, you're our last presenter, and I just want to say this about Seed20. Where else but here will someone like you get to see someone like that talk about something like that? So thank you for coming. Thank you, Gene.
All I can say is wow. And I think we have a few actors scattered among our nonprofit executives. Let's have one more round of applause for the presenters and for our judges. We will now excuse our judges, wish you well, and wish you good luck. This way. They have some tough decisions to make. Good luck, guys. Joanne's waiting. While they are off deliberating, let's move to our voting for the Grand People's Choice Grand Prize Award. Please take out your cell phones, and again, remember to keep them silent. The way you're going to participate, is by sending a text message. If you don't know how to do that, just raise your hand or turn to your neighbor and ask them. You will vote by texting Seed20 to the 5-digit number 22333, shown on the screen behind me. You will then receive a confirmation text, and in the body of the message, you'll type the letter that corresponds to the nonprofit for whom you wish to vote. Those letters, again, are on the slide behind me and also on the back page of your program. You may only vote one time. And to assure any of you who may have some privacy concerns, we cannot share your phone numbers, and I promise you will not receive any follow-up messages after this presentation. The Night Theater has informed us, as if you can remember from last year, that there will most likely be some cell carriers whose signal will not work. To that end, if you are unable to get cell service, please find the paper ballot, it's the loose ballot, in the back of your program. Check one presenter, knowing more than one would disqualify your ballot, and then raise your hand for an usher to collect your ballot. Also, if you don't have a pen, you can raise your hand and the usher will bring you one. We ask you, of course, to only vote one way, either by text or by paper. I think there's a message that the poll's not open. Hang on, it's about to be. should be open now. Thank you for participating and for being part of this process. It's very exciting for us. While the judges continue to deliberate, we are now going to show you a Seed20 video capturing some of the voices, the feelings, and the outcomes that have been part of our last 5 years. The video was produced by the Emmy Award-winning team of Priceless Miss and filmmaker Tim Grant. In fact, they won the Emmy for the Emmy that they won was for the film that we showed last year at Seed20 featuring Circle de Luz. So we are really proud of this team. Thank you.
The temptation is to always...
And particularly they need support quickly. A lot of people have great ideas about how to solve issues and problems, but they don't always have the tools to do it. They don't always have a platform or a stage to present their idea from.
So on behalf of Social Venture Partners Charlotte, I'd like to welcome you to the first annual Seed20 Unleashed.
It was a new endeavor for Charlotte. This was sort of groundbreaking in the area of social entrepreneurship.
We were worried when we started this, would there be enough interest in Charlotte? In about 2 or 3 weeks, we had 82 applications.
What's happening here tonight is every bit as important as any economic development announcement we've ever had.
I encounter a lot of new energy. That entrepreneurial energy needs a channel.
Once I began investigating, I was very intrigued and thought it would be great just to be a part of that.
Tiny grubs, smaller than my pinky nail.
I came in with very grandiose ideas. I was ready to change Charlotte tomorrow.
It was intimidating. I'm like,
We empower girls, giving them emotional intelligence, helping.
I just felt really vulnerable because this was something that was from my heart.
I thought about it every night before that night.
Each nonprofit representative will give their 3-minute pitch.
I've always been very, very shy, and the idea of having about 500 people looking at me for like 3 whole minutes was terrifying. My hands were sweaty and I could feel my heart beating like so fast. I've come this far. I had to do it.
You think of some of the individuals that started never having presented their pitch for more than 3 or 4 people, family and friends. Now they're standing in front of hundreds of people and they have to put it out there, and they triumph.
When I left the center today, there were 70 students from 19 different countries. So far, we were only able to serve less than 5%.
75% of what's going into our local landfills is food waste. May I introduce the grub? Yes,
We are the daddies in the daycare, and not just the gym. 2.5 hours a day they play doing dumb things on their smartphones, while at home, talking to their kids less than 4.
It's been a great conduit for opportunity.
3 years ago, we planted a garden in an empty lot behind Friendship Trays, our local Meals on Wheels project.
The very first year of Seed20, one of the winners was Friendship Gardens. We made a $75,000 grant to help support their effort, and now there's this thriving community farm. Another winner that night was Grub to Grub. The fact that they are now going to be partnering with and be on site at that community farm. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago that these types of connections and collaborations would be happening in our community to serve a greater need? You can really have impact, and that's the beauty of Seed20, is that you never know 5 years down the road what that impact could truly be.
I know that Seed20 is billed as a competition, but what I found was a very, very much a sense of team.
In our case, we didn't win, but I feel like we actually won because these people that are sitting right here that know a thing or two about nonprofits believe what I'm saying, then we have a chance.
It had helped me to believe that story is so important, and I do believe in my story. It's that sense of validation.
That's what Seed20 did for me, to help me realize I'm not the only one. You really can do it, Janine. And you gotta do more, and you gotta do it longer, and you gotta do it better.
Wells Fargo has been a funder of Seed20 from the very beginning. I remember the day that folks from Social Venture Partners came to my office to talk about it, and I was immediately taken by the concept and the opportunity.
I believe the path to lasting social change lies in the transformation of the individual.
What I didn't realize was that it would become what it is today.
And Inspire the Fire, we say, I've got something to say, and you say, well, say it.
You see, market your mind, not your body is the slogan that drives the mission of our firm.
You know someone who has a child with a developmental...
By 2016, we want to reach 100,000 more.
Diversity, integration.
Our bilingual teachers intentionally immersing our students in a literacy-rich environment.
When you look at the scope and scale of the number of people that have just been through the Seed20 process, it's a pretty incredible story.
Thank you.
The temptation is to always hope that the problems that our society faces can be solved with one single act, one piece of legislation, if only that were true. The way things change is people change them.
Nonprofits exist because there's one person that sees something wrong and they just want to make it right. Knowing that we could do better than this as a community. Because I want to do something and I know this needs to be done, but how do I get there?
Nonprofits, particularly ones that are relatively new and emerging, have a lot of vulnerabilities. They are somewhat fragile.
Well, most of us know Seed20 as this night.
the compelling presentations, the judges' observations, and a very fun reception after. It seems like an event, a party, one night and it's over. But for many, the most important part of the journey starts now. Or maybe it started in a UNC Charlotte classroom 4 weeks ago or 4 years ago when two people started talking about the potential to collaborate. As we just saw, it could be a grub composting program looking for a home in an urban farm, or a middle school Latinas mentoring organization looking for a place to do service projects, or a young organization in search for board leadership asking a Seed20 coach to fill that role. Partnerships, mentoring, connecting, and engagement, that is what Seed20 and the Alumni Network offer our participants. Could all of our alums who are here, over 40 of whom are here, please stand for recognition. Now, while you remain standing, I'd like to ask anyone who has ever been a Seed20 coach to stand as well. And note that many of our alums have been coaches as well. So now we can all see what a community effort this program is, and that it doesn't end tonight. This part is just the beginning. Tonight we are pleased to welcome the Seed20 class of 2016 into the Alumni Network with our alums. As our partner from the very first year, Wells Fargo would like to join us in supporting our Seed20 alums. You saw in the film the clear evidence of that, and now Rod Banks, who was on stage earlier as a judge, is here to present the Wells Fargo Seed20 Legacy Alumni Award.
Thank you. Good evening. As Jay Everett, my teammate at Wells Fargo, articulated in the video, the reason why we've been a supporter from day one, we're pleased to be an original presenting sponsor of Seed20. We're proud of our affiliation with the event and excited once again to be a presenting sponsor this year. To commemorate that impact and outstanding work of the Seed20 participants, this year we've created the Seed20 Legacy Alumni Award, which will provide $5,000 grant to a nonprofit that has been included in the program over the past 4 years. The grant is designed to assist Seed20 alumni with enhancing and expanding their impact and good work. This year there were 25 great applications, and we had the tough task of settling on one recipient for this year's award, but each one of them have done great work, and we want to recognize and thank them all for their great work in applying. In the end, we could only have one winner, and the Wells Fargo Seed20 Legacy Alumni Award this year goes to Our Bridge. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod and Wells Fargo, and congratulations, Sil of Our Bridge. Now I'd like to welcome to the stage the remaining members of the class of 2016. They're going to introduce themselves to you before we present the awards. Let's give them a round of applause.
Elizabeth Peacock,
with New Gen Peace Builders.
I'm Todd Pipkin, head of school for the Male Leadership Academy of Charlotte.
I'm Jeremy Audrey, the director of lacrosse with First Touch Youth Development Program in Charlotte.
Jamika Anderson, and I am the executive director of I Am Not the Media.
I'm Steve Parker. I'm the executive director of Focus Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dudley, the executive director of Fashion and Compassion.
My name is Happy Akua Bojo, executive director of Transformation Educational Services. Thank you.
I'm Violeta Moser, Executive Director of the Latin American Women's Association, LAWA. Thank you.
James Willimore, Executive Director of Croquet Records.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jacqueline Thomas from Girls Pursuing Science.
And I'd like to welcome back to the stage our finalists. You all know these presentations were so great, our judges are still deliberating. So we're going to start with the Priceless Miss Award. The film we just saw and our new website are the result of our creative partnership with Priceless Miscellaneous, a Seed20 sponsor. We're thrilled to announce that they are providing a $10,000 Digital Impact Award for services that will be done by their dedicated and talented team for a deserving member of our current Seed20 class. This award, all 20 nonprofits are eligible for this award, and presenting the check is co-founder of Priceless Miss, Matt Tyndall. Thank you. Okay. This award is going to an organization that provides educational support services and opportunities to the children of Montagnard refugees. The goal is to see families flourish in their new country by equipping them with the resources and skills they need for success in America. Congratulations, Focus Charlotte. You can stand right there. That's perfect, Steve, thanks. Okay, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The results are in and hot off the presses. The next award is the $5,000 Coaches Award, which goes to Southside Rides Foundation. I would like to invite our judges Manny and Katie to present the $7,500 prize, third place prize, and this award goes to American Pit Bull Foundation. exciting. I'd like to invite our judges, Charlie and Rod, to present the $12,500 second place prize. This award goes to Catapult Concepts. I'd like to welcome Joanne Stratton-Tate, last year's People Choice Award winner, to present this year's $20,000 People's Choice Grand Prize. This award goes to Gen 1. Congratulations, you all did a great job, every one of you. I'm now going to let the Seed20 class go to their tables at the reception so that they're there, and in a minute we will join you, but go ahead. So in a moment we will all celebrate these victories and the hard work our participants have accomplished. On your way to the auditorium, your way out of the auditorium to the reception, the ushers will hand you a Seed20 passport. So while you grab food and drinks in the Beckler lobby and the Night Theater lobby, use the passport map to find the Seed20 participants, stop by their tables, get to know them, ask them any questions, then fill out your information on the back of the card and drop your passport off at any of the containers on the bars to be entered into a drawing. The prize? SVP will donate $1,000 on your behalf to the Seed20 participant of your choice. The winner will be announced on April 21st via social media. We hope that you have enjoyed our program. Thank you for your support. Thank you again to our sponsors, the judges, the coaches, student ambassadors, SVP partners, and of course, our participants. Good night.